Marv Welstead taught many in our community about what he called the 4 C's of estate planning: children, church, charity, and community. These are the things we should remember as we plan to provide for our family after we're gone and consider the legacy we'd like to leave behind for our community. The Fremont area benefited from the leadership and vision of Marv Welstead for many decades. It was he and a handful of other civic leaders who in 1980 recognized the need for a community foundation to preserve the good life we have here.
You know, we all know Marv is synonymous with the Fremont Area Community Foundation. It was 40 years ago that a bequest by a school teacher really spawned the vision of the Fremont Area Community Foundation, and Marv was a driver of making that happen. And he was a driver of that through his whole life.
During his nearly 40 years on the foundation board, Marv served as president twice, in 1984 and from 1990 to 1999. While many milestones in the foundation's history are personally attributable to his tireless effort and dedication, a highlight of his tenure was the successful Kiewit Community Challenge. In the year 2000, the foundation accepted a challenge from the Peter Kiewit Foundation to match a $250,000 grant in just 5 years. Marv took up that challenge and chaired the committee that raised $309,000 in gifts and pledges in just 89 days.
He was a definite doer. Marv was a doer. If he said he was going to do something, he did that. He might do it faster than you could ever imagine that he would do it. I would get something in the mail from him that we just talked about maybe 2 days ago, and I'd get a list or some information that we were talking about in the mail, or he would bring it out to the bank. He was always doing things for the foundation, always going around town, doing this, doing that, dropping things like that off. But yes, he was definitely the doer. If he made a promise, it got done.
A number of other vital community initiatives got done with Marv's help through the foundation. A local chapter of Habitat for Humanity was started. An abandoned downtown motel was transformed into the CareCorps homeless shelter. And when a need was identified for a safe space for youth removed from their homes for neglect or abuse, the Jefferson House was built.
Marv is passionate. He really, when he believes in something, he supports it 100%. But more than passionate, he's tenacious. If he gets behind something, he's going to make it happen. We've all been kind of subject to his subtle arm twisting to make sure that we were supportive and behind whatever initiative he was pushing.
What can you say? That was Marv. He made things happen. And like I said, boy, every town, city needs their own Marvin.
Countless individuals and families have been touched by the community-minded efforts of Marv Welstead, many of them from his final initiative, which was one born from a very personal experience.
The Alzheimer's collaboration really started with Marv's wife, Jean's, diagnosis of Alzheimer's. As everybody who knows Marv gets very intimately involved with whatever he believes in, and he was such a wonderful caregiver for Jean and taking care of her, and he wanted to make a difference in terms of Alzheimer's. And so he approached me and we formed a group, and the first couple walks we did under the umbrella of the National Alzheimer's Association. And as we started raising money, we had some pretty good success. Marv raised the question, where does our money really go and how does it impact us in Fremont? And I remember Marv and I went to meet with the director of the Alzheimer's Association in Omaha, questioning them, where does our money go? And how does it come back to Fremont, supporting caregivers or whatnot? They couldn't give us very good answers. And it was after that meeting that Marv said, you know what, I think we should just do it on our own. And that really was what spawned the Fremont Alzheimer's collaboration. So we set it up locally where the money would go directly into the foundation, and the committee at that time said, let's commit 60% to research and 40% to caregiver support. And I think that was in 2012, and since then I think we've raised $440,000 in terms of donations that have gone into the foundation. 60% of that came out for research, predominantly University of Nebraska Medical Center, and then a substantial part of it supporting local caregiving. And so those dollars stay local, and that was Marv. That was Marv. He believes in staying local.
The 4 C's: children, church, charity, and community. These are the things Marv encouraged all of us to consider as we plan for our loved ones and our community after we're gone.
I remember one time I was talking with Marv, and I said, "What's your philosophy?" And he paused and he said, "You know, I think my philosophy is when I see a problem, I want to figure out how to find a solution and make it happen." And I think that very much describes who Marv Welstead was throughout his life, and the foundation was something very, very important to him, and a vehicle through which he did accomplish so much for this community.